So yesterday I attended the conference run by Success Resources here in Sydney, which had Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone presenting, along with a few others. And I just thought I'd, rather than recap it, give it my three biggest takeaways from the conference for anyone interested. Rather than what I actually learned from what the presenters were teaching, which was quite a lot. There was some very interesting stuff there, particularly around, most of it was focused on sales and marketing. But more interesting than that was the way people actually presented. So from Grant Cardone, the biggest takeaway I had was he did this fantastic almost trick with money, where he was making the point, he was trying to make the point that you should either invest in yourself or invest in your business or invest in something that earns you money. And he was saying basically keeping money in the bank is protective but it's not doing anything. Like, great, you should save it, but then you should invest it to actually get something out of that. In the first place, you should start as investing in yourself. But he did this great thing where he took out this wad of money and clipped it to the board and said, this is like money in the bank. Let's see if it does anything. Let's see if it grows, if it procreates, if it has kids. I don't think it will. And he goes around, he's a great presenter as it is, marching around stage, making all these points, and every now and then he could tie one of his points back to, you've got to invest in yourself. Oh, let's check back in with the money. Nope, still there, hasn't done anything. And that was just a great way that he made his initial point, and then the whole rest of his presentation, he kept tying it back to that point in quite a sort of theatrical way, which is quite good. The next one that really stood out was Cardone Ray. So he was talking, he's an Aussie bloke that was talking about, I suppose, similar things to what Gary V would have been talking about, to do with social media and online marketing. What really stood out to me was when he was talking about the workshop that he runs, that you could do to implement this stuff, he actually talked exactly what they do. It wasn't a, you're going to come along and get trained. It wasn't a, you're going to come and there'll be very, very great benefits for you. You know, you'll learn all these things. You'll be amazing afterwards. It wasn't any of that. He was like, all right, so this is our method with having a pipeline where you have a series of videos driving people to our ebook. The ebook then drives them back to a series of videos, which funnels them into a qualified lead. Now, rather than explaining that you just learn the concepts around them, he was like, this is our method for doing it, and that's exactly what you'll get. So you will come, you will leave with your 5 videos, you'll leave with your 5 articles, you'll leave with your ebook. It'll all be set up on Facebook, ready to hit the go button. I thought that was quite different to the others, who were mainly talking about, oh yeah, you'll really improve your sales skills, or oh, you'll be a great marketer afterwards. It's, no, this is the process we use, and you'll leave with the process done, ready to execute. So I thought that really stood out. And finally, Gary Vaynerchuk, he sort of stole the crowd. He came out in quite a somber tone, which really stood out from the rest of the high energy speakers, which he might have done intentionally because he knew it was going to be a high energy event. But the 4,000 people, silence, as they focused on him. And what was really interesting was he did half an hour talking, and then he spent about half an hour, 45 minutes answering questions from the audience, where they lined up on both sides of the stage. The most interesting thing about that was I was very shocked how unprepared people were. Gary Vee is one of the world's best social media marketers, and these people know that, presumably. That's why they've paid for the premium tickets to be right at the front, so they're ready to go with questions. And yet their questions were either very poorly formed, a lot of them, or very basic ones, to which they ask things like, oh, you always talk about doing this in this situation. I'm in that situation. Should I do it? And Gary goes, yes. Next question. Wow, you've got one shot to ask someone that you think is excellent at what they do a question that could be very specific. A few people had very specific ones. Some even read them out of paper, which Gary seemed to think was a great idea. Makes sense. You've got this one opportunity to do that, and you blow it on some generic question that literally half the audience could have answered based on videos and content Gary had put out. I just thought that was fascinating. And that he didn't expand on those ones. He didn't waste his time reiterating things. He was just like, yes, I have content on this, or yes, I always say this, or most cases just, yes, do it. Next question. when somebody asked a really good question, he did actually go into detail and really help them out. So that was really fascinating as well. If you've got that one shot, try and make it an actually useful question rather than you just got concerns and you want him to comfort you that it's the right direction. So those were by far the 3 biggest things I got. There was a lot of content that I learned and things from around sales and marketing, but it's interesting, you've got these really successful people seeing how they present and what things they do that then I can incorporate into training or my business or even presenting myself. So that was my biggest takeaway. Hopefully that was helpful. If you've been to a conference similar to this and you've seen tips like this, I'd love for you to share them in the comments below. Just some things that you've picked up on that you thought were valuable too.